December 2nd, 1942. What kind of man could stand in the shadow of a weapon so terrible that even the scientists who built it feared it might ignite the sky itself? Major General Leslie Groves, the iron-willed overseer of the Manhattan Project, was no ordinary soldier of World War II. He was the architect behind the most secret and haunting chapter of human warfare. Before the world knew his name, Groves had already carved a legacy through sheer discipline and an almost terrifying devotion to order, having supervised the construction of the Pentagon, a fortress of logic and precision amid a world crumbling under chaos. But in 1942, as the tide of war demanded new horrors to end old ones, Groves was chosen to lead a project so secret, even whispers of it could send men vanishing into the night. In the frozen dawn of Los Alamos, where desert winds carried the metallic scent of uranium and death, Groves watched scientists move like ghosts, Oppenheimer, Fermi, and others whose eyes no longer reflected sunlight but the fire of something unholy. He ruled them not with kindness, but with the cold precision of a man who understood that fear was the only language war respected. In one chilling night near the Trinity test site, a sandstorm swept through the valley and Groves stood alone amid the roaring dark, convinced for a moment that the earth itself rejected what they were about to unleash. The cables hummed, the instruments flickered, and distant lightning illuminated faces pale with dread. Some soldiers swore they saw shadows move across the desert that weren't cast by men, forms like smoke twisting into human shapes, as if the ghosts of Hiroshima and Nagasaki had already come to warn them. But Groves, unflinching, ordered the preparations to continue. When the first atomic fire blossomed on July 16, 1945, the night turned into day, and silence fell so heavy it felt alive. Men who had fought through hell itself dropped to their knees. Even the hardened general could feel the weight of something divine or demonic rising from that pit of blinding light. In his log, Groves wrote only, "The war will never be the same." Yet those who saw his face afterward said his expression carried not triumph, but quiet horror. Some say that for weeks after he refused to sleep in darkness, claiming the glow followed him in dreams, white light that burned without mercy, a reminder that in creating peace, he had unleashed perpetual fear. When the bombs fell on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Groves received commendations and history's cold praise. But deep down he knew what he had done was beyond victory. It was the rewriting of human morality in radioactive ink. Rumors from the soldiers guarding the Manhattan Project sites tell of strange, whispered cries heard in the empty labs after midnight, machines that flickered back to life, Geiger counters clicking though no one stood near. Whether these tales were born of guilt or ghosts, no one can say. But one truth remains certain. Leslie Groves walked through a war fought not only with bullets, but with the trembling hands of men who played God. His story isn't just about the making of a bomb. It's about how a single man's command changed the destiny of mankind and left a shadow long enough to stretch across generations. So the question that lingers like radiation in the air is this: did Groves save humanity, or did he curse it forever?